Hello, and welcome once again to another live stream of SYWK. My name is Desmond, and on this channel, it's all about paranormal and true crime. So, welcome once again, everyone. Whoever is new to the channel, this is the Tuesday Horror Live where we discuss. It's more about conversation related to paranormal, related to any topic considering paranormal or true crime. For tonight's episode, you must have read the title Dreams, Nightmares. What are the meanings? So, we are going to talk in detail about it. But for that, I need to wait for my co host. And the co host is Swati Rao. She should be joining in a couple of minutes. I've already informed her. But meanwhile, if anyone would like to join in, anyone would like to share a story, then the link is there in the description. You can click the link and you can share your stories. Meanwhile, my co host Swati does not join in. So, to begin with, welcome everyone. Melvin Fernandez is asking, are you observing Lent? Yes, obviously, from tomorrow, Lent season is starting. And yeah, I'm observing Lent. And it is really good that you should follow. You should be religious as well sometime. So, anyways, uh, for people who have just joined in, if you haven't liked the stream, like it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And if you would like to join the stream and if you would like to share anything related to paranormal, or if you just like to come and talk to me, then please, the link is there in the description of this channel. So go click the link and you can join in and share your stories. I'm waiting for my co-host. Her name is Swati Rao. She will be joining shortly, and then we are going to talk about scary nightmares and dreams and what are the meanings. It's going to be a fun conversation. So let us begin with tonight's live stream. If any one of you guys are a true horror fan, in my last late night horror show, I had asked you guys the same question which I had done on Sunday. But I would like to ask you again on this live stream. If you are a true horror fan, can you answer this question? And the question is, which is the longest running horror franchise? I'll repeat the question. Which is the longest running movie? You can say in the horror category, which is the longest franchise, the horror franchise. Do you know that? Can you answer it? Please don't Google it and then type the answer, please. I just want to know who knows this. I will have some couple of more questions, but this is the first question. Which is the longest horror movie franchise running to date? I will reveal the answer, but the answer will be towards the end of the live stream. I know I asked this question 2 days before on my late night horror show, but I just thought, let me ask you guys again and let me see whoever's joined in new, if you guys know it or if you don't know it. So, yes, I am waiting for Swati Rao, but before we begin the live stream, the topic is nightmares and dreams and what is the meaning behind that. But till she does not join in, what I can do is, I can talk about some points. Give me 1 minute. I'm just opening the article. Nightmare and their meanings. I was just reading this article sometime back in the evening. It's quite interesting article. 15 common nightmares and what they really mean. So everyone, it's not possible that that no one has got nightmares and no one is scared in the middle of the night, waking up sweating because they have got some terrible nightmares. The first common point about a nightmare is related to your mind. It's very simple. I'll just break it down to an extreme simple way. I'll give you an example first. Let's assume you watch a horror movie. That is in the evening or in the afternoon or maybe one day before, 2 days before. Now, we humans are not that strong in terms of memory power or in terms of training our mind to that extreme level that nothing affects us. Even if we go for a picnic, remember in school when we used to go for picnic, we used to be in the water the whole day, and that same evening when we go back home and when we are sleeping, our mind is tricking with us, saying that it feels like that we are still floating on the water. I don't know if this has happened with you guys, but this has happened with me. And this is the mind. It's just fucking with you in in simple terms, that it tries to trick you in so many different ways that you don't know what is reality and what is not reality. That is why the same thing is, if you watch a horror movie or if you listen to a horror podcast or if you read something horror or someone has told you a horror story, that will start playing in your mind and that fear will turn into a nightmare. And then when you sleep, you get a nightmare, but not similar to what you have watched or not similar to what you have heard. Maybe there will be a different combination of different things what you have done throughout the day, and it will connect in such a way that that will become a nightmare. Like, for example, you have gone to your class and you're talking to your teacher is explaining you something, and then after class you go to watch a horror movie. Eventually, in your nightmare, what will happen is that your teacher will become a ghost and the teacher is haunting you. So that's how the mind is, and that's how mind uh, tricks you. So that is why we need to be careful. And I always tell everyone, this is my main slogan of the channel or the main motive of the channel, that not everything whatever you find on the internet is 100% true, especially when it comes to paranormal and true crime as well, because you always need to fact check everything, because there is a lot of blind faith, there's a lot of superstition. And when it comes to blind faith, when I'm talking about blind faith also leads to nightmares. because you start thinking in a very different way, and then obviously you start getting nightmares. And nightmares, the number one reason, according to the article from puff.com, I'm reading an article here. It says 15 common nightmares and what they really mean. The first nightmare, or I mean the first point, sorry, the first point is very simple, what I explained right now. It is in your mind. Whatever you experience the whole day, or if you specifically if you watch something horror or thriller or something, which is edge of the seat, it will, your mind will start playing, and then you will end up getting a nightmare. Let me read the chats. Whoever is there in the comments, let me know if you guys can listen to me. Is my voice okay? I did not do the audio test also. 1 minute. Yes. नमस्कार भाऊ, कसा आहे तुम्ही? बरा आहे की नाही? Melvin Fernandez, are we observing length? Yes, 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 yes. Melvin is saying again, disappointing. Again, Bao is saying, hi, my liver hates you. Coming down for a nip. No, Papa, I'm doing live. If I come down for a nip, then who will do live? Anyways, my co host was also not joined in. I'm waiting for my co host. Anyways, so the stream is open, you guys. If you would like to join the stream, if you would like to share some feedback about nightmares, or specifically about dreams and why people get dreams, if you have any knowledge, then please come and share. Or else, if you'd like to share any story, if you'd like to narrate any story, the link is there in the description. Feel free to join the link and share your stories. So let me go ahead. First point I was talking about was your mind. The reason why we get nightmares, the common reason is fear. Okay, this is very simple. The fear comes when you watch a horror movie or anything, scary. This is the first common sign of nightmares. And why? But in this article, there are a couple of points. I'm not going to read, I'm not going to go through all the points because I'm waiting for my co host. But when I was reading the article from this puffy.com, in all the points, the common reason of nightmare is fear, overthinking. A lot of us, we overthink a lot, and that is why we continue overthinking, or we continue thinking in our dreams as well. And sometimes there are meanings for the dreams, and sometimes it does not have any meaning. I am not going in that part where what is the meaning of the dreams, because I haven't read anything about it. Maybe we can do a part two of it, and then I can go on that part. But right now, I'm only going to talk about nightmares and what are the common causes of nightmares. So, as far as we understood, the first thing is fear. Now, there is now the second point. What I'm going to talk about is, it is a very common nightmare or a common dream which a lot of people get. Now, I don't know if you guys get it or no. Let me know in the chats, let me know in the comments. So, the second point is, it's called as being chased. Have you ever got a nightmare or a scary dream where you have been chased by someone? Something supernatural, or a human, or someone who you like, know very closely, your life partner, or your parents, your daughter, your teacher, your best friends, or by a scary animal. But this is a point where it says being chased. So I'm just going to read the article. It says being chased is one of the most common nightmares. Have you guys experienced this? Let me know in the comments. I would really, really like to know if you guys have heard this. Heard this. What am I saying? Have you experienced this? How are you doing? Yes, I'm fine. I hope you're doing fine. Yes, it is a great topic. I am waiting for my co-host. She's going to join in very soon. Whoever is there on Instagram, people, I'm mainly live on my YouTube channel, so please join me on my YouTube channel. I am mainly live on my YouTube channel. So yeah, talking about nightmares. The first thing is being chased. Being chased is one of the most common nightmares. Let me know in the comments if you have got such you have experienced such nightmares where you have been chased by a loved one or by a supernatural entity or a weird looking animal, because I have had this nightmare. It's very common. It says that if you dream, then you're being chased by something, whether it's an 8 foot tall rabbit or a supernatural entity. And the meaning is quite interesting. So basically, every nightmare, every dream has a specific meaning. Now, I'm not sure who has understood dreams in general and who has come up with these answers, but obviously whatever I have got the information from this website, I'm giving it to you. I'm not sure if it is 100% true or no, so please don't believe completely what I say. Even you need to research after this live stream. So when you get a nightmare which is called as being chased, so basically, it says being chased could also be a sign that you're surprising something within yourself. Sorry, suppressing something within yourself. So this is basically, it is not related to paranormal, but this is going more deep. It says that being chased could also be a sign that you're suppressing something within yourself, such as anger, jealousy. This is quite interesting. If that's the case, then the chaser is then the chaser in one of these common dreams might actually be a manifestation of your emotions. Oh my god, this is quite deep. I didn't expect that the second point for tonight's topic would be so deep. This is nothing related to paranormal for sure. So actually, it's a very interesting topic which I took as well, and this was suggested by my co-host Swati Rao. She only suggested, and she's only not joined in. But anyways, she should join in very soon. So now we have understood that being chased, if you get a nightmare of being chased, okay, it is more about you suppressing something within yourself, such as anger, jealousy, irritation. So always remember that, do not connect this to paranormal. This is nothing related to paranormal. There is no demon over you, there is no ghost on you, you're not being possessed, this, that, and all. This can be a psychological reason as well, and I really like this topic which we selected today, because we are breaking the myth, we're breaking that blind faith that whenever you, a lot of people say, a lot of friends and all, when I speak to them, they say, oh, I got this dream, I was being chased by a big demon or a 8 foot tall, like an animal or whatever. Now we understood that it is nothing related to paranormal. So I'm really glad that I'm having this live and having this conversation with you guys, that finally we have understood that being chased is nothing related to paranormal. It is related to your emotions. You're suppressing something, your anger, your jealousy, your irritation. You're suppressing a lot of things. So that is why. Now, whatever information I'm giving you, I'm not saying it's 100% true, because this is also from an article which I'm reading. There might be some cases where if you're being chased, it might be related to something paranormal. Maybe you're being possessed by a demon or whatever. I do not claim anything. This live stream is just for education and entertainment purpose. That's all. I do not want to claim anything which is 100% true. Now let's go to the third point. Now this, I have not got a nightmare or I have not got a dream about this, but let me know in the comments if you have got it. And the third point is the tooth falling off. It is very strange because I have not got any nightmare. The Jin Chaser has already said falling, animal bites, losing tooth. Yes, these are very common nightmares. I'll go step by step. I will be going step by step. But yeah, which is the teeth or tooth falling off. Ever found yourself stuck in a dream where you're brushing your teeth in the mirror and one by one your teeth starts falling out? Have you ever experienced this? I myself have not experienced. I have experienced the second one, which is the chasing one, but this one, by God's grace, I have not experienced this. So have you? Then let me know in the comments. Let's try to find out what is the reason behind this. Okay. The reason behind this is dreaming about your teeth falling out can mean multiple things. Obviously, that we know. One reason indicates a change involving some form of loss in your life. Oh my god. Whether that's a breakup, losing a job, or even losing a significant amount of money. I never could ever imagine this, that this would be the meaning of teeth falling out. See, this is a very interesting topic because we always felt that nightmares and bad dreams are always related to paranormal and XYZ. But then there is the other side of understanding, there is the other side of everything. In fact, everything can be seen from two sides. So finally, Alhamdulillah, Swati Rao joined in. Finally, she joined in. So, Swati, I am getting you in three, two, and one.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Swati. How are you?
Alive so far.
Yes, you're late, Swati. By the way, India wants to know where were you? What were you
Yeah,
doing?
I just
Were you
want to
sleeping?
clarify. I just want to
Were you?
clarify. It is only 6:55 in Berlin, and I finish work at between 6 and 6:30. So I have to literally wrap up work and come for the live, whereas Desmond is happily sitting in night time zone.
Then what? I thought you were sleeping and you were
At
having a nightmare, so you
at
did not.
6:50 in the evening, I'm sleeping.
Pata nahi. I can sleep to any time. In the middle of work also I can sleep. Now also I can sleep in the middle of life. So yeah.
I
Arjun is
see
saying
so many
hi.
comments
Hi
already.
Arjun. Sorry, what you said?
I see so many comments already.
Yes, 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 yes. It is an interesting topic because I already started 3 points, and when I was discussing and when I was talking to people who are watching, I myself understood that every nightmare or every dream or anything related to scary dreams have a meaning. Now
Mm-hmm.
I am on a different tangent. Now obviously you also must have got some information and you'll also be on a different tangent. Let me rewind to you what I already spoke. I already spoke about two things. Basically, the third thing I'm still yet to discuss. But first two things, there is a website called as puff.com. Okay, and that the title is 15 most common nightmares and what they really mean.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is fear, and fear is basically related to if you watch something scary, like a horror movie, or you listen to a podcast, or if you read something, or anything scary. If you do that in a day, then obviously that fear will be there in your mind, and that's how you get a nightmare. This is a very simple point which they put. In the first one. The second one was, which I also experienced, that is being chased. So a lot of people, when they get nightmares and suddenly they get up, is because of a very common nightmare which is called being chased. So I'll read it out. So I've already discussed this, but quickly I'll read it out. Being chased is one of the most common nightmares. If you dream that you're being chased by someone, whether it's an 8 foot tall rabbit or a supernatural entity, then it's an indicator that you are running away from something or someone in real life.
Hmm.
Being chased could also be a sign that you're suppressing something within yourself, such as anger, jealousy, irritation. If that's the case, then the chaser in one of these common dreams might actually just be manifesting of your emotions. So this was the two things which I just spoke before you come. Would you like to give your wishes tipney on this?
Okay. But I think what you just spoke about is more the practical thing, right? It's not connected
Hmm.
to, um, what's the word?
Yes,
Like, it's not connected to, let's say, witches, demons, all of that that you will dream
yes,
of.
yes,
It's
yes,
a
yes, yes, yes.
general explanation as to, okay, if you have nightmares, this is how this is the generic meaning.
Yeah, but that is the interesting thing. No, wait, let me reply to Arjun. Arjun is asking, "How are you doing, bro?" I am fine, Arjun. I hope you're doing fine. For everyone who has just joined in, like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and if you'd like to join and have a conversation with me and Swati, then the link is there in the description. If you would like to share your stories, anything, you can just join in. So the interesting thing about this live is that you will be talking about the paranormal side of the nightmares and this, that, and all. And I will
Hmm.
be giving a logical explanation because I know that obviously each and everything can be seen in two different aspects, in two different point of views. So I now, right now, only I decided that I will try to give a very logical reason
Hmm, hmm,
and
hmm.
try to see if, if what makes sense, if something supernatural or something scientific. So, yeah.
Okay. Um. So yeah, like Desmond said, I'm going to stick to the supernatural part, since anyway you're taking the practical explanation so that people understand.
Yeah.
So should I go ahead with some of it?
Yes, please.
Okay. So based on my research, and again I just want to remind everybody, this is only for people who have had some dark dreams, and I've had some dark dreams, so I'm going to give you some explanation for this. Anything which is not dark and ambiguous or just regular, Desmond will be free to clarify that.
Yes.
Now, coming to dreaming about demons. Why I picked demons is because I've often had dreams in the past where everything was going fine. I was in a journey, or I was, excuse me, I was either in a journey going to some place, or I was already in that place and having a nice time, and then suddenly the dream starts becoming dark, and then I've encountered certain entities where I cannot be sure, is this a monster, is this a demon, it's very unclear, and then I wake up. So that is why I thought, okay, I will cover demons.
Hmm.
The truth is, dreaming about demons is not always a negative experience. It can hold valuable insights into your life.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. Now, coming to what is the meaning of demons. Dreaming
Hmm.
about demons can be a terrifying experience, but it's important to remember that these nightmares don't always represent evil or negative influences in your life. Many experts believe that these nightmares are a reflection of your inner struggles and fears. One interpretation is that demons in dreams represent repressed emotions or negative aspects of yourself. These
Hmm.
could be feelings of anger, guilt, or fear that you're not acknowledging in your waking life. In some cases, demons can also symbolize aspects of yourself that you are not accepting or embracing, such as your shadow self. It's also worth noting that the type of demon in your dream can also hold significance. For example, a horned demon may represent anger, while a serpent demon may represent temptation or hidden desires.
Hmm.
Regardless, understanding the symbolisms associated with your dreams can help you better interpret the meaning of your dream and uncover hidden insights. One of it is struggles and confrontations. Dreams about demons are often linked to difficult times and struggles in life. These supernatural creatures symbolize strife and disruption, And if you've had a bad dream featuring a demon, it's important to reflect on the current conflicts in your life. The dream may be your subconscious mind's way of trying to find a resolution to the issues you are facing. If the dream involves being harassed by a demon, it may indicate feelings of guilt or negative emotions that need to be addressed. To overcome these feelings, consider making changes in your life and seek therapy if needed. The second one is intimidation, dependence, and other vices. Dreams about demons can also symbolize struggles with vices such as addiction and temptation. If you dream of chasing or fighting a demon, it may indicate a desire to overcome negative habits. This could be drinking, gambling, smoking, really depends on the individual's habits. The message of the dream may be that you are on the right path to overcome these vices. If the dream involves being surrounded by demons, it may be warning of negative influences in your life and the need to distance yourself from these individuals.
Hmm.
The next feeling is trauma and anxiety. Dreams featuring demons can also indicate feelings of unease and anxiety. If you dream of being pursued by a demon, it may be a sign of unresolved fear or trauma from the past. To understand the message of the dream, pay attention to the other symbols and details that appear. The dream may encourage you to find a way to release these negative energies and move forward in life. If needed, consider seeking therapy to overcome anxiety caused by past experiences. The next emotion is loss of control. Dreams about demons can also indicate a loss of control, particularly if the dream depicts possession. This may be a sign of feelings of helplessness caused by risky behavior or a situation where you have lost control of your life. If this is the case, it is important to examine the factors that may be causing stress in your life. Alternatively, the dream may also be a sign that you are avoiding taking responsibility for your actions, and the dream is urging you to exert more control over your life and accept responsibility for your choices. Another emotion is threats to safety. Dreams about demons can also symbolize emerging threats to safety. If the demon in the dream is depicted as a human, it may be a warning that someone you consider a friend may intend to harm you. In this case, it is important to exercise caution and awareness when interacting with others. If the demon is taking the appearance of a human, it may be a sign that someone wants to seek revenge for the harm you have caused. In this case, it is important to reflect on your actions and apologize or seek forgiveness for any harm you have caused. And then we move on to another one called suppressed guilt. Dreams
Hmm.
about demons can also symbolize suppressed guilt. If the dream involves a demon, it may be a sign that you have mistreated someone and you are struggling with the guilt associated with it. The dream may be urging you to ask for forgiveness and address these concerns for mental stability in the future. If the dream depicts you as the devil, it may suggest that you have committed some form of evil and do not regret or feel remorse for your actions. So, all of these emotions come under if you dream of a demon.
Hmm. Actually, what you have to do, you have to read one point and then we could have spoken about it, but it's okay. We can do that as well. But in short, what you are trying to say, or what the meaning of dream is, nothing related to paranormal. It is something related to your emotions. It is something related to your inner self, which your dream is trying to tell you. Is that
Right,
what?
right. So there. I have more information on this. I just thought I'll
Hmm.
start with these emotions. So the emotions that I mentioned, one is struggles and confrontation, two is intimidation, three trauma, anxiety, then loss of control, threat to safety, and suppressed guilt. So all of
Hmm.
these are different forms, different demons that will come in your dream, and there's also visual images of it. So if you Google this demons in your dreams, you will have different images that come up, like a horn demon, serpent demon, different types.
Hmm.
And when people dream of this, you have to associate the emotion connected to it. Are you running from something? Have you caused some harm? Are you with the wrong people? There's so many aspects to it.
But 99% of the time, I though don't remember my dream. So it will be very difficult for me. And not for me, I think so. Most of them will not remember the dream, I think so. But yeah, there are some dreams where to date, like which I have dreamt maybe in college to date, I still remember that. Like, I had a dream where my uh, someone, like, like a very close family member passed away, and the funeral is already done, and then after that we go to the graveyard to remove the body again to see
Oh
if
my
the person is.
God.
So this was like, obviously now you need to sit with an expert and understand what is the meaning behind this. There are some dreams or some nightmares which are you cannot forget, but there are some dreams that you get up in the morning, you go, you get fresh until you're out, you forget about the dream.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah.
also makes sense because it's hard to remember dreams.
Yeah, but
It's,
before you joined in, I was telling everyone that there is a misconception about dreams. Like, if someone gets a nightmare, specifically if it is a demon or a ghost or something, then there are certain amount of people who think that, oh, maybe there is a ghost, or maybe, like, I'm possessed or something XYZ, or like, atma chad gayi mere pe, this, that, and all. So I just would like to give an understanding or an explanation to people that it is not always that you have been possessed or something. There might be a deeper meaning for your dream as well, and that's what we are going to do in tonight's live stream. But before we go ahead, and before I forget, I was having a conversation with Melvin, who was there at the beginning of the live stream. This was during December. Now, I'm just going off topic, but there was a conversation where we had that apparently there are some people who believe that we are not the only humans, or we are not the only living beings or creatures there in this planet. There are different planets with different people, or whatever, aliens, or whatever you can say. This is one understanding, and there is another understanding where there are different parallel universes where we, like, for example, where Desmond is in different parallel universes, and the dreams, what you dream, is basically that the two universes are joining at that time, and what is happening with you in that other parallel universe, you can dream, or you can see that in this universe. That is why you don't remember a lot of things. This is just a theory. I'm not saying it is 100% true, but this is just a concept, a theory, and a lot of people believe in the parallel universe. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say before I forget, because that just came in my mind. I just thought I'll say it. But do you believe in what I said? Do you feel that there might be something where this is a parallel universe? Because there is another thing called as deja vu, where you feel like this has already happened.
yes,
So there
yes.
is another theory where they say that this has already happened in another parallel universe,
Mm-hmm.
and that is why you feel that it's a deja vu. That is why you feel that this has already happened. You have
Happened.
already lived.
Yes.
So yeah. So in terms of dreams, there are these two understandings as well, that maybe this has happened in another parallel universe, and that is why you can see or you can dream about it. But yeah, coming back to what we were talking about and what you read, that it's all about your emotions. It's all about what you're going through. Like, even the point what I read is the same thing what even you read, being chased. Because in being chased also, it said that being chased could also be a sign that you are suppressing something within yourself, such as anger, jealousy, and anxiety.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So yeah. This was the. Do you have anything to add on this?
So I was going to just talk about the earlier point that you mentioned, the parallel dimension and
Hmm.
your belief in this, or rather, I mean, do you believe in it,
Theory.
or it's more like,
Just theory.
yeah,
You
your
can.
theory? Because the movie Insidious focused on that. And that is why I particularly like Insidious. I don't like all the parts because the latest one was horrible. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
earlier
First
parts,
part.
yeah, the first few parts were done very well because of this concept of the father having this ability to dream a parallel dimension. So it starts with the
Hmm.
father, right? He has that ability where in his
Correct.
dream he goes to a
He's
parallel
going
dimension.
to, yeah.
Yeah, and that is how he's able to interact with the under, what do you call them? The a different world, right? It's not
Yeah,
underworld,
yeah.
it's a different world. So he interacts with people who are dead, the spirits, everyone. And if you see in Insidious, the good and the bad exist in the same universe. It's not
Hmm.
divided into heaven, hell, all of that. The good spirits also live there, the bad spirits also live there. They all are living in that one dimension.
Hmm.
Because as the movie progresses, you see that even the good spirits help him leave, right? So they're
Correct.
all there. And also the ability of that is passed on to his son because the son also has that gift of dreams.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that movie was done really well with this whole dreaming in the parallel dimension. And also, why I like that movie was because of a personal experience, and why this topic also has come up is probably because of the personal experience.
Hmm.
So couple of not couple actually several years ago, maybe um 20 years ago, I think that might be the when I was probably 10 or 12.
So you are
Um,
going to narrate something.
Yes, yes, because I wanted to explain the connection between insidious parallel dimension and why we came up with today's topic.
Okay, I will put my camera off. I can hear, but I have to this answer the door. But I can hear. You continue. I'll be back in 2 minutes. You can continue. I can hear.
Sure,
Okay.
sure, sure.
Yeah.
So, for the listeners who are listening, coming back to the story, so Insidious, as mentioned, is the parallel dimension focused movie, which was done really well. Second is today's topic, which is about dreams and how all of that is related to what I'm going to tell you now. So, probably when I was around 10 years old, maximum I would say 11, my grandfather was in his late 60s at the time. And one night, me and my sister, we wanted to have a conversation with him after dinner, which is very typical in our life at that point of time. We used to hang out a lot with our grandparents. So after dinner, we would just watch TV or chat about old stories and then go to sleep. So during this time, for some reason, this topic came up where we would start talking about our dreams. And because we were just kids, we would come up with all kinds of creative dreams that we had. There's a snake in my dream, there's a cat, there's this, there's that. There was always something. That particular night, maybe he really wanted to get it off his chest, which is why he took up this topic further. So he was like, you know what, I want to tell you, kids, something. You should listen to me, you should pay attention to this. I thought he was just going to come up with a funny story, but that was not what happened. So he told us this story where when he was younger, he was also gifted with that ability that the protagonist from Insidious was gifted with. That is the ability to go to alternate dimensions through your dreams. And he believed that when he was younger, and by younger I mean he found out this ability only in his 20s. And how I asked him, like, how did you magically wake up one day and find out that you have this ability? So he said that it just happened, in the sense he never experienced it, but in his 20s, he started sleeping more deeply due to work stress, and he already had a family by then, etc., etc. He started sleeping much more deeply than when he was younger. And then he realized he actually had this ability, and they were not dreams. So initially he thought it was just dreams where he was visiting a parallel dimension. But with time, he realized that these are not dreams because he could physically touch and feel things. And that is when he convinced himself that, okay, this is actually more than a dream. So when he started dreaming, he would go to this alternate dimension and interact with um, the other humans that lived here. So this is not a dimension where it's dark creatures and demons and all of that. It's just a different dimension which is just in a different timeline. That's it. So he was basically interacting with a timeline that was ahead of the current time. So when he would go to this dimension, he would go and talk to the humans there. He would walk around, he would touch things, and they did not know that he was from a different dimension or a different time zone. And then after talking and how he called it a great use of his time, he would come back to his current body or current dream, and then he would wake up like normal in the morning. And this is also seen in the Insidious protagonist's character. He finishes the experiences in this alternate dimension and he finds his way back to his current body, and then he wakes up. The issues happen only when he's not able to make it back to his body, which is very similar to what my grandfather described. He had to make his way back to his body and wake up. And if there was a delay, like in some cases, he mentioned that he spent too much time in this alternate dimension, then coming back to his body took long, and then waking up, of course, took even longer. So that is how he described it. And why I think that is why I connected so much with that movie, because I had already experienced it with my grandfather. So it was not a new concept for me. The thing was, I was very amazed. How can this happen to a human? I thought maybe, it's my grandfather. He's just making this up. He's just saying it to keep the kids entertained. But that was not the case. He was very, very serious about it. And he told us that, I know you kids don't believe me, etc., etc. So I was very young at the time, and I mentioned that it's a nice story, but I don't know if this is real. And he said, okay, how about I tell you something that makes it real? And
Hmm.
to tell me things that make it real, he said, let's ask your grandmother where I was during her. So my grandmother had she had a very big surgery when she was in her, I think, 30s or 40s, something like that. She had a very big life threatening surgery, and then after that she was fine because the surgery was successful. So he asked us to ask her, ask your grandmother what happened to me during that time, like where I was during that time. Ask your grandmother where during our marriage at our younger earlier years, where I was for a couple of days and what I was like. So I said, okay, fine, I'm going to ask her someday. Today is not that day because it was already night, and then we went to sleep. I went to school. Obviously, I forgot all about this. I was just a kid. Someday, when probably I think a months later, maybe like 6 months later, I remembered that, you know what, I'm supposed to ask my grandmother this, because my grandfather asked me to ask. I should go and ask her. So one day we were eating lunch and he was not at home. And then I decided to bring it up with my grandmother, and my sister also was not there. She was still in school. So I asked her this question as to, you know what, I just want to know. Remember, you had that big surgery when you were younger, the life threatening surgery, because she had breast cancer, and at that time, the medical science was not that advanced. So it was like anything could go wrong. And luckily for her, it didn't, everything went well. So I said, remember when you had your surgery where they said you may not survive and all of that? Where was grandfather at the time? And she was like, oh my God, that is a big story. He went missing and we couldn't find him. So I said, okay, but how is that possible? How could he go missing? And I didn't understand what happened. So she said that basically he was around until the surgery was going to happen. While the surgery was going on, which is a couple of hours, and then she had to remain in the hospital for a couple of days, my grandfather vanished. Basically, he was not to be found. He had just vanished, and all the family members were like, where the hell is the husband? He's not in the scene. And her children were taking care of her, and they were like, where is dad and everything. Finally, after like 2 3 days, he came back home by himself, and everybody was very upset about this. They were like, where did you vanish? What did you do? And he told them at that time, and this is like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whenever, he told them that, oh, I went to another dimension, but I didn't physically go there. And everyone was very confused with what is he even talking about. And then he said, no, I didn't want to be in the hospital or house because I cannot help her just by sitting around. So I went to meditate, and I helped her that way. And they were like, how can you help her by meditation? And you are supposed to help her by being in the hospital, being around, like for support. And his explanation was that by dreaming or meditating, whatever you call it, it's a state of deep slumber, basically. He was able to travel to a dimension. Like I said, he travels to a dimension which is ahead of time. And he was able to see that in the future, she was still alive. My grandmother was still alive. So that is why he's like, okay, the surgery is going to be successful because she's still alive. And he also could see that medical science had advanced and things were different. So that is why he took a while to come back into his body, and that took a couple of days. And that is why he's like, I knew she'll be fine. So this was his explanation at the time. And all the kids were like, okay, he's lost his marbles. We have to get him admitted to some therapist. But he was totally fine. There was nothing other than that story. He was saying that that's all was wrong with him. He just went back to work like normal, no difference. So then they were like, okay, we can't do anything if he's acting normal. So they decided to let it go. And then I asked her, oh my God, this is such a big deal. And, no one has told us about this. And she was like, okay, what's the point of talking about it now? Because it was several years ago. So I said, okay, but did he ever vanish at other points of time in your married life at an earlier stage? And she said, yeah, he used to do that all the time. So there were some nights when they used to go to sleep because obviously they sleep at the same time. And then when she would wake up in the morning, he wouldn't wake up. Like he would be in the state of deep slumber. And then he would take several hours to wake up. And then he would go to work. And she initially found that very troubling. But later she thought, okay, fine, maybe it is some kind of mental condition where people are sleeping deeper and then they wake up. Or and what happened even during the surgery time, that he said he left and he was meditating, all of that. So she thought, okay, he's going through some he has some mental condition which she doesn't know. She's not able to understand it. They were not that educated at that point of time. So she just let it be. So she said, yes, he did take a long time to wake up. He was in a state of deep slumber when I used to wake up in the morning. um, and there was also times when the kids had grown up. Like by that I mean, when my grandparents kids, my parents, aunts, uncles, etc., they got married and left. By left I mean they all married and left the house, so they became empty nesters because now all their kids got married and left. But they were still not old because they're still in their 50s. And even that time, sometimes he used to vanish. So she told me that couple of days he would just vanish and come back after 2 3 days. And when people used to question him, saying that where the hell did you go, and he would say very vague things like, I went to the Himalayas. And they were like, how could you go to the Himalayas? It's only been like 2 3 days. And then he would say, yeah, in my dreams, I went to the Himalayas in my dreams. So all of this happened, and I was, as a child, I was like, what am I hearing? I think I'm having some kind of out of body experience listening to all this. But it was certainly quite, I mean, it made me very aware that, okay, these things, people actually have such experiences. But it also made me feel that, oh, wow, there is a possibility that alternate dimensions exist.
Oh my God. And this is your grandfather.
Yes, father's father.
And if I may ask, is he still alive?
No, no, he passed. He passed in his 70s.
Oh my God. Shit, this is quite creepy, man.
And that is why when I watched Insidious, I literally had a eureka moment. Like, I think other people in the theater were like, oh my God, such a complex concept. But when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I've experienced this. This has happened to someone I know. This is not, it seems so far fetched, but then there's actually a movie about it.
So I have couple of questions. Like,
Hmm.
you had a conversation with him, and did you ever ask him that how did he get to know this ability or this power what he had, that he could go to a different, like he could go to the future or whatever and come back? Did you ever ask him that?
I did, because I found it strange. How could he realize in his 20s that he has this ability? So his logic, I mean, his explanation or his theory was that he slept very deeply. So he said earlier he was a light sleeper, but as he got older, he became a deep sleeper because he started working a lot more. He got married, he started working at kids, so the responsibilities increased, which is why a good night's sleep was very important. And during this time, he started sleeping very deeply. And when he started sleeping very deeply, that is when he realized that he has this ability, because his dreams changed the way, because I feel like I'm only giving you his theory. Obviously, I don't know if it's real. I feel like when he started sleeping deeply, he was able to access a certain part of his brain which he could not access before, and that is why he realized, okay, these are not dreams anymore. It's different.
And he could even feel and he could even touch, like whenever he used to travel in that dimension or
Alternate,
what.
yes, yes, which is what made him realize it's not a dream anymore. So initially, he thought these were just strange dreams that he was having, but later, when he started touching and feeling things, he started thinking, no, maybe this is more than that. And I also asked him, like, okay, but how do you know? Even if you're touching and feeling, several times in my normal dreams also I can touch and feel, but that doesn't mean it's not a dream. So he told me that he also had that same issue. So what he did was that he went to the dimension which was the future, in the sense it's not too ahead, it's just a little ahead. And what he did was he didn't go too ahead, he went immediate future, like, couple immediate, like current, like couple of days later kind of a dimension. When he went there, he changed some things. So what he did was that he took out
Oh,
certain things. He said that he went to the nearby temple. So there's a temple very close to my parents' house, which was also the house that my grandparents were living in. He went and he did something to in the sense that he made some scratches on the door, or he moved the position of the idol or something like that. And
oh
then when
my.
he came back to the current time, he went in the current body, like his current time, to the temple, like normal. And then he went and checked, and those scratches were there, and the ideal position had been moved. So he knew that, okay, this is real. So he tested it, and that's how he figured it was real.
Quite, this is quite, I'm getting goosebumps right now listening to this.
And imagine, I heard the story as a child who was only 10 or 12, and I was like mind blown, because you know how children are, they just like, what is
Yeah.
going on, and they believe everything. And now, even as an adult, I was like, okay, what just happened?
But this is a very interesting concept to talk about it, because now since we are discussing about your grandfather's story, I
Hmm.
feel that might not only be him, but there might be so many people in the world who can actually do that.
Yeah, yeah. Those are actually telepathic abilities. Like, there are different forms. I feel like it's one of the telepathic abilities.
And I feel that if you train your mind to that extent, then there are possibilities. Because see, now we are very immature in terms of this conversation, because you will obviously need someone who is extremely smart, or you can say extremely done proper research in this topic to talk about. But whatever is our understanding, definitely maybe 10 years before this conversation must have happened with the people who are actually into this.
Hmm.
Because now I can feel that if the story what you told us about your grandfather, it can also be connected to deja vu, because we as humans, we don't know that how powerful our mind can be. And if you train your mind to a certain extent,
Hmm.
uh, we will also be shocked that okay, we can do this as well. And maybe some of them have the ability of going to the future or going to a different dimension, but we might not realize it. Because a couple of times, whenever we get a dream and then suddenly we wake up in the morning, we always tell, this dream was like, it felt like so real. I didn't feel it was a dream. So maybe it might be not a dream. It might be that we as humans might be going to a different dimensions, or might be telepathing and going somewhere.
Hmm.
And then again, if and then obviously we are going to the future. Maybe it's just a day or just a 2 days ahead. But then when we come back to our normal senses, and then when we again go through that same situation, and that's how we feel that, Arey, this thing has again happened with us. That is why it's a deja vu. So maybe,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm just trying to decode few things as per my understanding. Whatever I said, do you feel it makes sense, or do you
It does.
have
It does. It does.
makes? Yeah, it's
But
quite.
do you believe in this ability? Like you truly believe that humans can possess such abilities?
Yes, because see, the mind is a very powerful weapon what we humans have, and not everyone is, trained to do such things, or not everyone is thought also about such kind of things. Because I listened to a different, like different kinds of podcasts, and there was one Indian paranormal investigators, which I keep talking about them on my channel, which is Pooja Vijay and Sarbajit Monte. So,
Hmm.
in one of the episodes, Pooja Vijay was telling that basically everyone is a psychic. Psychic is a person who trains their mind to that extent that they can understand energies. See,
Right. Right.
talking about paranormal, talking about anything in general, everything has an energy. Like I, as a person, if I'm sad or if I'm depressed or whatever, then I'll have a very low depressed energy. But for example, like Jeffrey Dahmer, the person who killed so many people, a serial killer,
Hmm.
obviously have a very negative energy. So Pooja Vijay was saying that everyone is a psychic until and unless they don't realize is when they start putting lot of pressure and training your mind to that extreme level that you understand different things. And obviously you need to be with that set of people, you need to do a lot of investigations or whatever you can say, that to train your mind to reach to that level. So I feel, I do believe in whatever you said about your grandfather. I will not have any doubts, because for me, mind, if if you train your mind, you obviously you can do anything.
Hmm.
That's what I believe.
But you don't feel this comes under some kind of paranormal realm because technically it is an out of body experience, no?
Yeah. See, I don't know in which category we can put this into, but all I can say is that I kind of, not kind of, you can say at least 95% of what you told me about your grandfather, I believe. Because see, I do believe in reincarnation. I
Hmm.
do believe in a different parallel universe. I do believe that people can go to the future in a form of a dream. Maybe for us it might be a dream, but actually maybe your grandfather might be just leaving his body, and his soul might be telepathing, or his soul might be going somewhere, and then he might be coming back, and his body is just there. Because a lot of time there are cases where people are in coma, and they are in coma for 6 7 months.
Right, right.
But some of them, they say that they didn't even know that they were in coma. They felt like they were just having a normal life, and then suddenly maybe I feel that the soul goes back to the body, and then they realize, okay, they were in coma, this, that, and all. Because eventually in reincarnation and rebirth, it's your soul which leaves this current body and it goes to another body. So I
Hmm.
kind of believe in all these aspects. That is why though we started our channel, everything about paranormal. So we have to believe. If we believe, then only the people who are watching, listening to us can also believe. But I'm not saying that whatever we say is 100% true. We are not some babas, we are not some gurus or something. We are just having a normal conversation, a debate of what can be true and what cannot be true. So yeah, that was quite interesting. What do you
Also,
have?
I would recommend people to Watch this movie, Henry Sugar. It's on Netflix or Prime, one of them.
Okay.
Henry Sugar is not a supernatural movie or horror movie, but it talks about the abilities of the mind, very similar to what we are discussing. So, what my grandfather claimed to have was a gift of the mind where you can travel to different realms, whether it is supernatural, whether it's future, whatever it is a different realm. And Henry Sugar, it's a movie about a regular guy who has the gift of his mind basically going beyond what an average human does. So, watching that movie will give some perspective.
The movie's name is The Wonderful Story of Henry
Of
Sugar.
Henry Sugar. Yes, yes.
Ah, okay. Okay. It was
It's about
released
his
in.
mental abilities.
Ah, it released last year only in 2023. Yeah. It's on Netflix.
So, when you see that, you will be like, okay, this is a little more believable.
Hmm. Actually, there are a lot of things we common people know we don't have information about. Only the scientists and people they must have even decoded a lot of things specifically about dreams, because as a kid I never understood the meanings of dreams, and obviously later on when I started talking to people, then when I started the channel, then started reading so many things, then I actually understood. But to date, I have spoken to a lot of people, but obviously I've not spoken to an expert in terms of dreams and this that and all. I used to get one particular dream, and that I used to get only when I used to fall sick. So as a kid, I was a very weak child, and maybe in a month, at least 4 to 5 times, I'm going to the doctor, taking medicines, and with high fever and this that little bit. If I get wet in the rain, also I used to fall sick. So this particular dream, I will tell you the dream, but I never understood what was this dream about.
Hmm.
And let's see if you guys can understand this dream. So I had, and because of this dream, I also started kind of believing in reincarnation. Now, I don't know whatever I'm going to say is going to make sense, or whatever I said right now is making sense. But because of this dream, I started believing in reincarnation. And the dream is basically I can see myself, okay, but I cannot see myself in this body. I can see myself in another man's body. Okay, he is maybe somewhere in the village. He's wearing a simple dhoti, kurta, whatever, and he's running away from all the villages who are trying to basically hit him. I don't know for what. And I myself can see, okay, I'm running, and I can see that I'm running forward. If I'm looking down, I can see that what I have worn. And then I reach to one particular cliff, okay, which is at the edge. And before they even come close to me, and before they even try to hit me with the sticks and all, I fall down. And now I can even feel that I am falling down, and the minute I hit the ground, then I get up and I scream in fear. And this used to, does not happen to me right now, but used to happen only when I used to fall sick. So I never understood why I'm getting one particular dream. Obviously, as a kid, you get different dreams different times. But this particular dream, I don't know.
But I didn't
Then,
get the connection with the reincarnation in this.
yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Then after that, on TV, this Irfan Khan, the late Irfan Khan, he used to have a series called as Mano Ya Na Mano, and in that, I hope Swati, you watched that by any chance?
Yeah, it was a very nice show.
Yeah. So in that there was different cases, and from that one case was about reincarnation, where that person also had a similar experience where he could have flashbacks when he used to sleep about his past life. Not obviously not the same kind of story or not the same kind of dream or whatever. And towards the end, they said that that whatever you dream about can be possibly that your body is giving you signs. This is at the early age, at a very early age, that your body is giving, or your soul is giving you signs about your past life. Because after that, I started watching a lot of documentaries on discovery, this, that, and also whoever used to remember their past life, they remembered only till the age of maybe 8, 10, 11, 12 years old. After that, the memory started fading. And for me also, I have not got that dream ever, but I clearly remember the dream. So, because of watching that documentary and Mano Ya Namano, this, that, and all, I am just connecting to maybe a past life, what I was in my past life, or whatever, I don't know. Now, you tell me, does this make sense, or this is two different things?
It's not exactly two different things because we are still discussing the same thing, which is the ability of the mind. So, what we
Hmm.
spoke about earlier also is your ability that you're able to access a part of your mind, which is why you're able to do travel into a different realm. So this also, the dream that you had, maybe let's say it really was a past life thing, you have to be able to access that memory, no, to go into a different zone, a
Hmm.
different realm, to get those memories of a life that you haven't had in the current time.
Hmm.
That is that. And what was your feeling, like when you were able to access these memories? What did it feel like? Was it very real? Did it feel like an illusion? What was that?
It felt not real. It did not feel extremely real. I initially, when I started getting the dreams, it kind of felt real. But then later on, after a couple of years, I knew that I am dreaming. But the surprise element was that even though I have dreamt 100 times about this, but I would not know what is going to happen next. That was the surprise element. I know that I am going to go and run and go to the cliff, but whenever I was in that zone or in that phase, I should not understand what is going to happen next. So that
But
was the.
who were you in that dream? In the sense, were you the current age, same
Yeah,
looking person, or different?
yeah. I was like a, you can say now, like a middle-aged man person, like. Hello?
Yeah, I thought you had some technical issues.
Yeah, there was, even I got locked out. I don't know how. Wait, let me check back and. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whoever has just joined in, sorry for the technical issues. We are talking about nightmares, dreams, past life, so many things. We started with nightmares and dreams, and we are gone to whatnot. It's an interesting conversation, so stick till the end. If you're just joined in, like the stream, and I have my co-host Swati Rao. Even she has her own podcast channel called as Desi Horror Podcast. If you would like to listen to some creepy stories related to paranormal, especially from India, then go and check out her channel. Her details are there in the description. So yes, let's get back to what we were talking about. So yeah, what do you feel? I till now I have not got a proper answer about it, because because when I messaged you today in the morning, and then we were discussing about what topic should we discuss, and when you said that, that was the first thing which came in my mind. That okay, wow, I need to speak about this, because from the time we started our live, we haven't spoke about this specific topic. So
The specific topic, in the sense, the ability to dream about your past life.
yeah, the past life or dreams or nightmares, or I haven't spoken about this. Like we spoke about horror movies, ghost stories, so many times we have repeated that.
Actually, we did a past life episode. You forgot. I was just going to talk. When you started talking, I was like, okay, Desmond forgot that we actually did an entire. I think we did two full lives only on past lives.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
We did,
My
because
bad.
I covered it exclusively on my podcast as well. So I also shared similar content here.
Yes, yes, yes. Now I remember that Aviral had joined in and he had shared his story about that
Yes, he used to live in Germany in his past life.
Germany. Yes, 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 yes. See, the problem is I don't remember what is happening in this life. How I'll remember about my past life?
It's
That's
time to eat some badam, Desmond. And you cannot remember that we did past life episode, and now you're talking about your past life.
shit. Forgot about. Did I say? Did I talk
No,
about this that time
that's
as
the
well?
that's the thing. You didn't talk about this at that time.
Oh,
We
matlab.
spoke about recorded events, like recorded events and the research,
Ah,
and
yes, yes, yes.
even one of our audience came and spoke about his time, his life that he believes was in Germany. But you didn't talk about this specifically, that you believed you were a middle-aged individual and what happened.
Hmm. This also okay. Yeah, good, 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 good. We are having this conversation. So at least the thing is, there are so many things in a person's mind. It only comes out when you are having a conversation.
Right,
अरे
right.
मेरे साथ भी ये हुआ मेरे साथ भी वही हुआ so ऐसा होता है.
No, but I want to know more about this because you didn't cover it then. Because when
Hmm.
you're dreaming about it, what is the feeling? So, what I spoke about was specifically that it's an out of body experience. You know that physically you are no longer in this realm and you have traveled to a different realm. In
Hmm.
your case, what were you feeling physically?
Physically, I knew that I like. See, the thing is, there are some dreams you like. See, there are some dreams you know that you're sleeping on the bed and you're dreaming. It's like like a very light sleep, and then you know that you're dreaming. And like, हाँ ये चलता है कि ये अभी dream है. I'm going to get up in some time. But whenever I used to have that dream or nightmare or whatever you can call it, I used to not feel that I'm dreaming. Or I used to not feel it real also. So I was somewhere in between. Because that time, because of medications and all, because I told you specifically, I used to get this dream only when I used to fall sick. So because of medications also, I used to sleep a lot because those were very heavy. So I was somewhere in between. I'll not say that it was like extremely real. I'll not say that I knew I was dreaming. I'll just say that maybe I was just present at that time there, and then when I used to fall down, that time I used to realize, okay, this is a dream, and then I used to say, thank God it's a dream, because there are some dreams where it feels so real, but then when you get up, then it's very hard to even believe that, oh shit, actually I was dreaming. Thank God this is not true, because sometimes you do such crazy things in your dream like अरे बच गया, like you have killed someone or something like that, like बच गया, it's not reality, it is a dream. Yeah.
But then again, do you also think it could be the effect of the medication? Because you said you used to fall sick very often as a child and you
Mm.
took medication.
Maybe there can be, but okay, effect of the medicines, but why this particular dream? And it's not that I have I used to watch something specifically about this kind of dream, or I have read somewhere this, that, and all. This was way back when television was not accessible to an individual person. When television was there, also, it used to be my mom or the elders who used to watch one particular serial or whatever this, that, and all. So we were not completely watching anything. I should not read back then. I used to I used to not have any entertainment source in the sense like watching something or radio or something. That later on when in college I came, then I started watching this Mano Ya Na Mano or this documentary, this, that, and all.
But this was way before that, you mean?
It was way before when I was quite young.
Okay, okay. But this you didn't have any access to. Um, what I mean is, you didn't have access to any form of creativity even through school, like no media, nothing.
No. See, even when we were young, we used to watch television, but how it is like you come back from school and then you're eating something, or that you don't even complete the show, you don't even complete the
Yeah, yeah.
movie, whatever is there till you're eating, you're this, then you're gone out to play and all, because at least for my generation It used to be more like you go out and play, and hardly we used
Right.
to, and back then to go to a theater also was very big thing for us. We used to never go, maybe once in a while, if it is a very big movie star who's coming, like if it's a Christmas, Diwali or something,
Yeah.
then we used to go. Otherwise, never. Like, came from a background where financially also we were not that very strong, so no source of entertainment, only playing cricket, this,
Mhm.
that, and all the normal. Nowadays Gen Z's, they have a different thing, because
Yeah, yeah.
from the
No,
time
I
they're born.
asked that question because I wanted to know that means because you didn't have any source of where you could have had this kind of information or outlet for creativity, you
Yeah.
believe that this could be real because your mind had access to this. Even though in that current, like in your current life, in your current time zone, you didn't have access to it, but your mind was still able to access something which could not have been of your access in your current time.
Yes, and that time when I used to have that dreams, I never connected it to past life or anything. I should just feel that it's like a nightmare, it's a bad dream, and why am I getting this dream every time? Then when I actually started connecting to the media, internet, and started seeing documentaries, started seeing different examples, then
Hmm.
I felt, I'm not saying it is 100% like it is past life or something, but I just felt that it is kind of similar to what even they are seeing. So I just felt. But I'm very surprised that how I did not talk about this in the last session when we had about past life.
Not in this detail, I think, because we focused a lot on external cases and everything. So I don't think you spoke in such detail because I definitely don't remember that you were a middle-aged man in your past life and standing over a cliff and all of these details.
Maybe, or maybe I must have said it, but we did not go focus on that or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to rewatch that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was. But
So,
I don't know.
so coming back to the same thing about dreams, is this the only example of bad dreams that you've had, or have you had any recurring um, dreams where you felt like, okay, I need to act on this, I need to find out what is this about?
There are sometimes, okay, now talking, see, since I was talking about mind and the ability, it has happened with me, and for sure it has happened with you and many people who are listening, that I am dreaming about something, okay, I get up, maybe I go to the washroom, whatever, I sleep back, and then I continue the dream. This has happened with me. So I cannot remember specifically what was the dream, but this has happened couple of times with me where I'm dreaming. I have woken up, maybe I've drank a glass of water, gone to the washroom, whatever, slept. It will be maybe in a minute or two. I slept back, and then I continue the dream. So I still feel, since we are talking about it, it's your
Pretty
mind.
common.
Yeah, it's a very common thing, no?
Yeah. This is pretty common, but this could be more that the mind wants to continue with that dream because it was something that you wanted, rather than okay, this is an ability which is beyond the normal.
Yeah. But then it is also interesting that a lot of people don't remember, and the thing is, like, don't remember the dream in the sense that you have woken up and you clearly remember what the dream was, and then suddenly after some time, you forget, you don't have any memory of that. So that is also very strange, that why, because we have dreamt about it, we should remember it. So that's also an interesting thing which we need answers in terms of why there are certain dreams which we don't remember at all. And then, like, I will go to work or I'll go to college or whatever, and I'll say, "Hey, bro, I this had this dream and this, that, and all." And when I try to say, it's just not, I just can't say it only. It's there in my mind, but it does not come out from my mouth. It happens that way
Yeah.
as well.
No, that has happened to me as well. Yes,
It's a
it's a
very,
very interesting dream at that point of time. But when I want to narrate it to someone later, I have no clue what to say.
yeah, that is. Interesting. So what
Yeah,
else?
and connected to what I spoke about in the beginning, the significance of certain demons and creatures in your dream versus the actual reality, which is your emotion. An example is when I was in college, I used to constantly dream, and by constantly, I don't mean every other day. By constantly, I meant, let's say, a couple of times in that year. I dreamt that I was being chased by a snake. So it was a
Okay.
very large anaconda, and it was by chasing. Obviously, a snake cannot chase after you, but more like slithering and chasing you on the ground. And I kept running, and the anaconda was abnormally fast. So normally they are not fast on land; they are only fast in the water because it's a
Hmm.
very heavy snake. But in the dream, it was an abnormally fast anaconda on land, and I kept running, and it kept slithering after me at such speed that I felt like, oh my god, if I stop even for a second, it'll eat me up.
Hmm.
And now, when I connected to what I read for today's topic, I realized, okay, so the significance of what they say when something is chasing you, someone is chasing you, is that you are running away from something. You are not confronting a particular fear that is a particular fear or a topic that you're trying to avoid and running away from. I think that's true because
Yes.
in college, I often ran away from conflict rather than facing conflict.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
why it came in the form of a very scary looking anaconda.
Yeah, that is what. No, this is what I read. Also, it in this article. Also, it says it indicates that you're running away from something or someone in real life, and it also says that suppressing something within yourself, such as anger, jealousy, and all. So this can be this can be true.
I wish I was like my grandfather though. Instead of anacondas, I get to travel to a different realm.
Yeah, man, that would be really fascinating.
So,
I
is
want.
anybody else joining the stream today, or are we done?
Yeah, we are done. I think so because we're already 1 hour 26 minutes. But couple of more points quickly. I will say. I
Hmm.
don't know if this has happened with me. It has not happened with me. Wow, I was just going to say this, and in this article also it's there. Being naked in public. I have dreamt about that. Being naked in public. And it says dreaming about being naked in public is a sign that you're feeling low and exposed. What is this? Does not make sense at all. Perhaps a secret was revealed. Oh, so okay, that it could also mean that you have been dishonest about something and you're struggling to keep it hidden. Oh wow, quite interesting. Have you dreamt about that you were being naked in public or something? Hello, hello,
Actually,
hello.
never about being naked in public. Probably because I don't think I was hiding anything as such. Maybe that's why I never dreamt about it. But when you were speaking about it, I had a feeling it is connected to hiding. Because
Yeah.
clothes is a way to cover up, right? So if you don't have the clothes, it's like, okay, you are definitely trying to hide something. Never that actually. I've never had those kind of dreams. I've had other very creepy dreams, which is snakes chasing after me, like this anaconda. And
Hmm.
another recurring dream that I had when I was younger during college again, college or slightly, I think, after college as well, is shadows, a lot of shadows. Like, for example, if I'm having a nightmare, the monster or the demon or the negative entity, whatever you want to call it, it'll always come in the form of shadows. It wouldn't come, out and out horn kind of a demon, or the way they make it so dramatic in movies. It was
Hmm.
always very subtle, like shadows. Like there's a shadow coming very close to me. There is a shadow in front of me. There is a shadow hiding behind the wall. So that kind of thing. So I used to have this shadow as a recurring entity in my dreams at a younger age.
Shadow, huh? Have you
Shadows.
have you also dreamt about falling or just falling?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Definitely. Falling for sure.
And the interesting fact is here what it says in the article: nightmares about falling are often associated with loss of control over situation in your life,
Mm-hmm.
which is quite interesting. Actually, everything has a reason, and that is interesting that this falling, because I told you, the nightmare or the dream, whatever I had, the falling was the main important part, because that's how I used to get up. But then at the age of 5, 6, 7, what I'm losing control of in my life, God only knows. Maybe my
No, but
studies.
that was connected to the past life thing, no? That you were falling as a middle-aged man.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
that could have been maybe in the past life you got into some trouble and you lost control of situation. That is why you jumped.
Talking about past life and talking about this nightmares and all, there used to be one serial which used to come on this Indian television. I don't know what is the channel name, but it was one of the therapist, or what, I don't know what they call these people, but they used to call few celebrities, then they used to call few normal people, and they used to do this session, past life regression or whatever, and then they used to tell you what you were in your past life. Like I remember one episode where Shekhar Suman, this old actor, he was called, okay, and in his past life he was a British officer during the British era in India, and the British officer also lost his elder son, and even Shekhar Suman in this life, he lost his elder son. So that is how that episode had gone on air, and they were talking about it. It was quite interesting that there are still some things which comes to your present life from your past life. Like
Mm.
that lady was telling. Like for example, anyone has a phobia, like for example a height phobia, or someone has a fear of water or anything. They say that in your past life you died because of that particular reason. For example, if you have fear of heights, then they say that maybe you were pushed or whatever, you died in that way, where you were thrown, or you jumped or whatever. Or maybe if you have fear of water, then you were drowned in your past life. This is one aspect, and there's another aspect, like now a human body has different marks, and sometime a kid is born with a birthmark or with some abnormal mark. So they say that this also represents your past life, where maybe something must have happened in your past life, or maybe you were stabbed to death, or if you have some mark in such a way that it looks like a bullet thing, maybe you were shot to death or something. So these were also different points which he had covered during that session.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel? Do you believe? Do you have any phobia or something?
Sure, but I never connected it like this. That okay, my phobia is because of a past life. I always thought of it as okay. So phobia probably because of the mind being unable to, you know,
What
confront.
is your phobia? What is your
Like for
phobia?
example, I never learned how to swim, and I'm
Hmm.
afraid of swimming in general because I have this fear that I'm going to drown. But I never connected it with okay, maybe in my past life this happened, and I also never had any dreams connected to it. Probably if I had dreams where constantly I was being submerged in water or I was dying in a waterfall, something. But I never
Hmm.
had those dreams, so I thought okay, maybe it's not that. It's just my mind not being able to handle me in water.
Yeah, but according to them and according to their studies and according to their theory, it says that when if you have a phobia, and phobia in the sense which is like even if you are near water, you'll be so scared that you can faint or whatever. You're not able to stay there. Or if someone pushes you in water, means you will get a panic attack. That extreme phobia, then it is something related to your past life. Then also there are a lot of things where if you're having trouble also, there are many theories. Like for example, if you're having marriage problems, or if
Hmm.
you're having career problems, or if you're having health issues or whatever, they say that sometimes, not all every time, but sometimes at least 60% of the cases is related to something what you have done in your past life. And this goes only, I'm not defaming any religion, but this goes mainly to the Hindu religion, where if you have done any pap and all in the past life,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
this past life regression, this, that, and all, and they try to see what can be done so that you have a normal life here in this current
Right,
life.
right. Yes, that is true. Yes.
So there are, the thing is, there are so many different point of views, aspects, and so many different theories, which is very interesting. But I was just telling the other day to a friend, because we were talking about religion, we were talking about Islam, Christianity, Hinduism. I was just telling that there are two kinds of people. No, there are two kinds of things, not even people. One is the actual religion, and one is the people who run the religion. Because people who run the religion has made so many laws that it's very scary to even do anything. Because if you do something, okay, you're doing a sin. If you do this, it's not a sin. If you do that, it's not a sin. This is sin, that is sin. So it's very confusing. And
Hmm.
specifically, if you talk about my religion, in our my religion only, there are different segregations, where Christians is there, Roman Catholics is there, Protestants is there, believers are there. So many different things are there. I was having a conversation with my friend saying that tomorrow, like when our time is up on this earth and when we go to heaven, or when we have a conversation with God, it will be something else only. The concept of what we were taught on earth, and when we go on top, like kuch alag hi rahega.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So there are so many theories which are still unanswered, and I feel that there will be still a lot of theories which will never be answered, or there will be different explanations, but you'll never know what is the fact and what is not the fact.
Yeah, that part is true. Yes, because the reality would be something else once you
Yeah,
pass, whereas
yeah.
what you believe on earth is something else altogether.
Yeah, it is strange and complex, and this topic, this conversation will not end. So maybe we shall do this on our next live stream. Maybe we can talk more again about deja vu, reincarnation. Let's tap on this topic once again. So we will continue this for our next live stream. So thank you everyone who has stick till so long. It's almost 1 hour 37 minutes. This time we extended for more 30 minutes. So thank you everyone who has just joined in, who are watching it, and who will be watching it later on. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and also follow my co-host Swati Rao. She has her own podcast. Her name is the podcast name is Desi Horror Podcast. Her details are there in the description, so go check her account as well. And Swati, any update, any new episode coming on your channel, so you can just tell everyone, so people can go and listen to the new episode what you'll be releasing.
So I would suggest everybody can also check out the YouTube channel for people who are not podcast people and only like video. You can check out the YouTube channel. I have reviews of underrated horror and psychological thrillers. So I will upload another video this week with a new movie. It's called Killing of the Sacred Deer. So that review will be out, and then you can decide if you want to watch it.
What is the name? You didn't tell me on YouTube. Desi horror what? Desi
Nothing.
horror.
It's the Desi Horror even on YouTube. Same name.
Desi horror.
So you can check out this here on Spotify or on YouTube, depending on what formats you like. And after today's live of what do your dreams mean, I hope we've given you some clarity on what your dreams actually mean. And If you have some supernatural abilities like going to parallel realms like my grandfather, please feel free to get in touch with us and give us your stories.
Yes, it's quite interesting. So yeah, thank you everyone, and we shall see you in our next live stream. I would also like to give you a couple of updates. Every Sunday, I do a late night horror show where in that live stream it's only stories and stories and stories, no unwanted conversations. Tuesday live is more about conversation based. Then I have also started true crime segment on my channel. So every Fridays I release an episode related to true crime, and then after that on Saturdays an episode related to ghost stories. So this is my update for this week. So thank you everyone, and we shall see you in our next live stream. Ciao
Bye
and good
bye.
night.